and working at the Wellness Center and being able to have wonderful exposure to wonderful people who have been supported from day one, like Dr. Sorensen and Dr. Phillip, and who will continue to be supported. We have this is an exciting time because all of the stars are lining up.
Right, right.
So.
And you know, when people, one of the things I always say to people is that we all have a purpose in life. We're born actually with a purpose. And, okay, I'm about to get religious, guys. But it's so interesting and really empowering when you understand how God can line certain things up in your life that prepares you for what that is, that ultimate purpose is. And all of those things that you've talked about have really come together to prepare you for what it is that you're about to do. And my hope is that, I think if this is in line with what you're saying, is that 32114 area, which is, you know, Bethune-Cookman is right in the heart of that, really. That with the students and the faculty and others in the community coming together, that they can, you know, finally actually actively and with some immediacy impact that area. And I know that at the health department they've had the studies, you know, they've had the focus groups and everything else, which is great and necessary, you know, as you prepare and as you plan, etc. But I think now we are ready for moving forward. Would you agree, Stefany? And you know, taking the action.
Yes, definitely. You have to empower your community, and I know, Dr. Dixon, that's what you're about, educating and making sure you give people the information so they can make the right decision and empower the tools and empower them. And then the research shows that the social conditions that you mentioned, the jobs that we do, we're not thinking about that, but the jobs, the money we're paid, the schools we attend, you know, where are we going to school, and then the neighborhoods we live in. And they are as important to our health as our genes, our behaviors, and even our medical care. So all of that does play a big part of it. And then when we mention whether it's the 32114 on this side of the county, or you know, another area code, you know, somewhere else on the west side, right, in Delane. And we just have to keep our eye on it. We're aware of it, and you know, we're all focused on it and coming together, you know, because we want to make a big difference. But I think it's important to raise awareness because we're understanding it. It's important to get, you know, it's one thing to educate the community partners, but that is a whole nother thing, you know, when you want to educate your community.
Absolutely.
So, so it's the healthcare system is a big system. It involves, you know, everybody that we mentioned and everybody working together with great community partners. We're really blessed to have Bethune-Cookman University as well as the other partners. We do an annual Minority Health Summit. We've been calling it Minority Health Summit, but I've been working with Dr. Dixon. I'm sure we're going to look at moving toward Health Equity Summit. Because that's what the topic is right now, health equity. And we do this every year, and we usually get a very strong turnout. And Gwen, you've been
there. The last one was phenomenal. Yes, it was.
I mean, but people are hungry for information. They want to know. We're talking about our partners like Prevention on the Move, the Sickle Cell Association, Healthy Start Evolution Flagler. We can't name all of them, Dr. Dixon, because we'll leave somebody out. But the bottom line is, it's the folks who are in the trenches.
Absolutely.
They're doing the work. Absolutely. They're working with our partners every day to provide quality care and to make sure our community is healthy. But we want to bring them together to educate them, to put the best speakers out there that we can, to provide the best information that we can. And actually, coming out of the summit that we just did in April, we have it in April because that's Minority Health Month, but coming out of that, one of our sponsors heard some information about a grant, the Closing the Gap grant, applied for said grant, and got a large amount of money to help improve the health in our community for oral health as well as diabetes.
That's awesome. What's really about that network, which is so important, because I can't hammer it home enough. When we talk of health, we can't just think it's Halifax's responsibility or the health department's responsibility. All of us play a role in that.
Including the individuals themselves. Absolutely. They too have responsibility.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
But you can't, as we've said before, it's hard to hold them accountable if they haven't been provided with the tools, the resources, or importantly, the information that's necessary to allow them to even know about any of this stuff, you know. Knowledge is golden. It's
Because
just,
you'll hear a parent say all the time, give me the information that I need so that I can make a decision whether I want my child to have this or to do this or to walk. We were talking about the exercise. We know we want kids. We know childhood obesity is out of control. It's just a major concern. So we want the kids to have at least 60 minutes of physical activity a day. We don't want them to just sit in front of the TV and play with the computer and do all that stuff. We want them to get out there moving.
which
But
is
we have
what
to
we
get
used
that
to do
information
years
to the
ago. We
parents.
played outside. In fact, the parents say, go outside and play.
We played, we
Go
did
outside and
tag, we did, you know, the softball, we did everything. Played ball in the alley.
Hopscotch with a piece of
Jump
glass
rope,
and,
double
you know,
dutch.
maybe just chalk the lines and all that kind of stuff. You know,
Yes.
you made your own games back then. It didn't
Double
cost.
touch and all of that, yeah. But if the parent knows this information, and even with the healthy meals, if a parent, you know, may not know that, you know, giving them, you know, certain bologna sandwiches and all this other stuff, ribs and a lot of things may not be as healthy as, you know, getting that salad or, you know, just some other
And like-
nutritional meals out
And
there
like
for
I
lunch.
say too, you know, that fat baby may look cute, but it's not healthy, okay? So, if your baby is overweight, then you need to be talking to someone to help you change that, because they say that those fat cells actually stay with the child, you know, straight through to the time they're adults and everything else. So it's not cute, it's not healthy for a child to be overweight. And if there are issues, you know, there could be medical issues or whatever, but you need to get that checked out, parents, because that's something that's important for your child and should be important to you.
And it's a whole cycle, because when you hear about some of the bigger children will tell you in a minute, Mommy, I'm being bullied at school. I mean, because a lot of the kids may not be so nice, and they may, you know, say some very rude and crude things to the youngsters. No one should have to be bullied.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's, like you were mentioning, everything is connected.
Yes.
Some kind of way it's connected, and the bottom line is we've got to save the children.
And the other thing we should say, or I will say, is that we're all connected too. You know, it's not just, you know, the minorities, it's not just the Caucasians, the this, the that group or whatever, the Roman Catholics, the Muslims, blah, 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 blah. We're all interconnected, and to the extent that any one group is denied health, for whatever reason, or health care, then we all in part suffer from that as a community. And, you know, there's an exposure part of it, but it's also not allowing someone in the community then to live up to their greatest potential because of something that's preventable. That's preventable. Which brings me back to Amendment 1. This is not you guys, this is me. In terms of Amendment 1, Amendment 1 will be is a ballot issue that will be on the ballot for you to vote on in November. And, you know, basically it's posing the question about whether or not you feel that that individuals should be forced to pay for health care. And basically, that decision's already been made by the Supreme Court, the federal Supreme Court. But, you know, if you vote no, they shouldn't be forced to, then basically what you're doing is giving ammunition to our legislators, like our governor, to say that they can turn down any funds that would be available or whatever else that can help people. So that's my take on that. That's what you need to know, that even though it is of no effect in terms of the action that it will stop or allow or not allow in terms of what they call Obamacare, that decision has already been made, but it will have the impact of empowering others to make that kind of a decision for you. So read these ballot issues. Legal Women Voters have information that on all of these ballot issues and related issues that will provide you pros and cons as far as those things are involved, and you want to make sure that you get that, and we will have them on the end of the month to talk about those ballot issues as well, so that you're better informed. But health care healthcare is not a Democratic or a Republican issue or an independent issue or any other kind of issue. Healthcare is a human issue, and healthcare is something that should be made available to anyone, not based upon whether they can afford it or not afford it, but based upon the fact that there is that need. Again, I made the statement earlier that there are certain responsibilities that we as human beings have, but it's difficult to hold somebody accountable for something when they don't know and when they do not have the accessibility to what it is that they need to know and need to get. Okay, I'll get off of my soapbox now, but and get back to my guest. But it's important that you understand that healthcare is super important, and we need to stop bouncing it around like it's a political football, because it's not. Because if it were your mother, your father, your daughter, your son, or some other relative that was in need, you would want them to get what they needed, and not be kept away from that based upon their income or some other thing that should not be key or important in this land of the free and home of the free and land of the brave. Is that the way it goes?
Home of the free and land of the brave.
Hey, I got it right. Okay. Now, when we talk about inequities and when we talk about just the discrepancies and the like when it comes to disparities, when it comes to health care, and there is a desire on the part of others in terms of the gardens that they're growing. I know that there's a garden at the old Bonner Elementary School site. There are one or two others in neighborhoods in Daytona Beach. There are others around, and even in Washington, the president's wife, Michelle Obama, actually started a garden. She was probably one of the first ones to make it well known, but I'm sure that has been done previously. In fact, years back, that's what we used to do. We used to grow a lot of our own, in our own little plots at home and the like. But access to fresh vegetables, access to fresh fruit, access to those things that are key and important, and we've heard discussions from even the Midtown Board for the City of Daytona Beach, which said that we don't want any more convenience stores, because what they're doing is what they call it a desert. They're actually selling stuff, a food desert, right. They're selling stuff that is not good for, I mean, it's convenient, and it may make people, because it tastes sweet and good and all this kind of stuff, feel good about it, but it actually it's not good for them. And in 32114 and in poor neighborhoods, there are those individuals who may, have started out with the right ideas, etc., and may have just, they want to make money. They really want to be a part of the community, but the bottom line is that they're not, though, well serving the people who live in the area because of what's made available. And the parents need to know that it's not great for your kids to go. And we used to do it. We all ran down to the store, and we got the candy, and we got the pop, and we got the this, and we got the that. And all of that is ruining the teeth, and it's ruining your bone structure, and it's ruining everything else. And then you get older, and you find out, oh gosh, look at what's happening now. And we really want to start earlier. And my hats off to the school system that's trying to incorporate better ingredients and better foods in the cafeterias for what the children eat. But the parents need to do more as well, right?
Well, I think it's a two-way street. And I think what's so important is when we all come to the table, and that's why I keep stressing that.
Oh, I gotta say, you listen to Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards. I'm sorry, guys, I'm trying to get back into it. And this is WLE 1380 AM on your radio dial in Ormond Beach, Florida. Again, Truth Radio, and my guest, of course, is Dr. Alma Dixon and Stefany Strong. Stefany's with the Volusia County Health Department. Dr. Alma Dixon just got a promotion, and she's with Philip University. Woo!
Well,
all right, hey, go ahead.